Connecting with other writers, that is probably the thing I like best about going to these writing conferences. Because for a long time, I feel so isolated. I feel so alone. I want to talk to other writers. I want to meet these people. And, you really need to focus on what you're doing and don't get distracted. And, you need to develop your own style. And basically, they didn't know what they were talking about. Because connecting with other writers, getting encouragement, having friends that have similar experiences. You've gone through the ordeal of writing a manuscript. You've gone through the ordeals of editing. You've gone through the ordeals of trying to get it published. You've gone through the ordeals of promoting and getting it out there and doing all these things. And so when I'm sitting there basically letting other people make decisions for me and about me, which, in retrospect, I probably should have gone with my instincts and resisted a little bit more. Finding other people that can give you advice. When you feel discouraged, they can give you encouragement. If they're really good friends, they will take a look at what you're writing. And I like finding them because they love me enough to be willing to read my manuscript. And they love me enough to be honest about reading my manuscript and honest with their commentaries in their praise, their criticisms, their advice, their suggestions. And I had kind of stayed away from that because I remember being in other situations in other career fields where there wasn't a lot of encouragement from your colleagues. Everybody was kind of afraid of somebody else doing better than them before, getting successful before they did. And so there was a lot of undermining. So I carried those traumas, if you will, over into my writing, and I let them color my perceptions. When I finally decided I was going to start going to these writing conferences, and I wasn't going to limit my involvement to getting new insights into writing styles, into forensic research, into detective work, into procedurals, I was going to connect with other authors. At first, it was like when I was in wrestling, here I am, a rookie, and I would be in with these veterans, even if they were just local stars. I would be in with people that I had watched, that I was trying to follow in their footsteps, and it's kind of intimidating. And I had that same, nervousness when I got into these writing conferences, and how do I connect? How do I talk to these people? And Writers Police Academy was where a lot of the ice broke. The very first one I went to down in South Carolina, and I ended up just talking with a lot of people and bumping into a lot of people. And there was this one woman, she was older and she had a hard time getting around. And she just said, "Can you help me? I need help." And so I found out she lived in Vermont, over near Bennington. And when she found out that I grew up, diagonally opposite her, we ended up having a really great time, really great conversations. And then COVID hit and we lost touch, but we reconnected again a couple of years later at the New England Crime Bake. I started connecting with her, and then I started connecting with others. It was this really great time. And the last Writers Police Academy, I connected with even more, and we're friends on Facebook. And the last Crime Bake, I found there are some mystery writers from my hometown. And it's great because now I've got a network where I can draw from, where I've got people I can cheer on, people that cheer me on, people that I can turn to for advice, people that come to me for advice. And there's a lot of growth and give and take and a lot of building one another up that I have not experienced like this before. So if you are a writer, even if you only write your own personal journals, even if you never intend for your writing to see the light of day, go to writers' conferences, go to workshops, meet people, connect with them, walk up and say hi. Believe it or not, for the most part, writers don't bite. We're a little skittish, so approach slowly. Coffee, cookies, and chocolate help, at least for me. But don't be afraid to say, hey, I'm a writer. I'd love to, hear your story. Would you like to hear mine? That type of thing. You're going to meet all kinds of really cool people, and yeah, they might be sources of information. Meeting some of these forensic specialists, especially a woman who helped me pass my criminal investigation class, meeting them and finding out that you understand that they've been consultants in some of the biggest murder cases, dealing with serial killers and forensic cases in the United States. They're like right up there. And then you get to talk with them, and this woman who had broke the story of Jeffrey Dahmer. She was a journalist, and I bought her book, and I was asking her to sign it, and she says, has anybody ever told you you look like Santa? Can I sign this to Santa? I says, you sure can, and then we had a great talk, and she was somebody with a lot of sense of humor. And then I got to meet Catherine Ramsland. She worked with, the BTK killer, and she did all kinds of other forensic investigations, and she gets brought in to talk, in criminology and in writing classes and everything. When I first met her, she's a very professional woman, and obviously she is quite the expert in her field, but she's so personable, and she's got such a really nice smile, and it's so easy to talk to her. It doesn't take anybody down off of a pedestal, so to speak, but when you go to these conferences and you connect with them, it certainly makes them a lot more approachable and personable, and you don't necessarily feel so isolated. Find a writer's conference, find a writer's workshop, go, meet them, because you're going to find other people that are sharing a lot of your experiences, and they've got advice to give, and they probably have some questions that you could answer. So get out there, connect with authors. I've connected with Lee Laughlin, Robert Dugoni. He is incredible. He is a great guy, and I follow him on Facebook, and he and I have, emailed back and forth. He's a great guy. Lee Laughlin, like I said, he's probably one of the dearest friends I've got in writing. I've got, Darren Brown here in Mount Washington Valley. I've met all kinds of people. I bumped into, and literally, Stephen King in North Conway once or twice. And when I say bumped into, I mean that because neither one of us were looking where we were going. But he's also a nice guy. We happen to have liked this same really bad Chinese restaurant that is now closed. But it's really great when you get out there and you meet them and you find out your heroes are quite approachable. And rather than look down on you when they find out that you're climbing the same slope, they are cheering you on. So connect with other writers. That's how you're going to get really good at what you do.